It's Amira. How are you today?
I'm great, Amir. How are you?
Good. I am so excited to have this conversation. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about you. And I guess my first question for you is, tell me your full name and what do you do at Agility?
Yeah, so I'm Mara Cooper. I'm based in Philadelphia, and I'm a principal at Agility Search.
Um, and can you tell how did you find Agility?
Oh, that's a fun story. So I joined a talent team for a large charter organization in Philadelphia in 2017. And when I joined the talent team there, the current chief talent officer connected me with Hadley Kornacki to serve as like a coach and mentor for my first 3 months in the role. And then when I was ready to start exploring roles outside of that organization, I saw that Hadley, as well as another partner of mine, Jonathan Howard, were both working for Agility, and that Agility was looking for someone to join their team as a consultant. And so I reached out to both of them, got to learn a whole lot more about the organization and the kind of work that happens at Agility, and decided to apply based on all of their work here and all of the great things they had to say about being with Agility Search.
Wow. It's so interesting to hear you talk about how, people knowing people, that's critical to like finding the next thing that you just don't know might actually happen. So staying connected with people is hugely important. So have you worked with other mission-driven organizations? And you kind of mentioned that, but and what did you do there?
Yeah. So at my most of my career has been with I worked for 20 years for Mastery Charter Schools in Philadelphia. So mission driven organization. I talk about my career a lot of times as kind of the tree to forest approach. So I started as a teacher. I was teaching ninth and 10th grade English. And so really working with our ninth and 10th graders, and then I was a college advisor. And so working with 11th and 12th graders, but really helping to kind of set the tone for the college going culture at the campus that I was at. And then as Mastery expanded, we went from 120 students to about 14,000 students by 2011. And so when they decided to bring people into the central office to help support all of the college and career programming. I then moved into the central office there, where I was supporting programs, but also doing all of the hiring for the college and career programming at all the different high schools, and then moved into doing talent work. And so, really serving the entire ecosystem of the organization starting in about 2017. And all of that was really focused on student achievement. So, everything that I did from being directly in the classroom to finding great teachers and leaders, all of it was centered on the goal of providing students with an excellent education and increasing student achievement and really being a turning point in Philadelphia for what good education can look like.
Mm, I didn't even realize you touched so many different roles and that growth. Like you've seen so many um, great people and great places where great people can shine to make an organization grow. That's amazing. So tell me a little bit at your role today. What do you do and what are you most excited about?
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I really had this opportunity at Mastery to grow in this career and see lots of different aspects. And the same is true here at Agility. So I am responsible for working with clients, so different mission-driven organizations all across the country, charter organizations, and single site schools, and community-based organizations, and national nonprofits, helping them find really great leaders that are going to drive their mission driven work, and
Mm,
communities all across the country. So I work with clients, mostly search committees, sometimes boards, sometimes internal hiring managers, and help them develop a competency-based scorecard, build out processes that really meet the needs of their organization. And then on the other end, which is, one of the things I really love is I get to work with lots and lots of different candidates. So building relationships with folks all across the country, as they are thinking about what comes next in their career. And I kind of get to be at the nexus of all of that, right? I help to drive those relationships and help folks, find what's next for them, and organizations find the right leaders, so that they can really make an impact. I have to say it's the thing I've always loved about this work. When I was at Mastery, and the thing that drove me into just focusing on talent, it's just like the joy of helping,
Mm,
at that point, a school find someone who is going to help them really meet the needs of their students, and also the candidates or the person kind of take this next step in their career is something I've always found great joy in. And what
mm,
I'm excited about is just continuing to do this work. I have some really great engagements coming up with schools and some nonprofit organizations, leading into the fall, that will allow me to be at campuses or at organizations, really getting to meet people on the ground doing the work. And that's something I'm super excited about.
mm. You're a master connector. I love it. And you're able to help organizations figure out like who's their secret person for them, and
Yeah.
you're able to connect them. So what's one way that you approach your work that makes you different from others in your field? Because there's a lot of people that can connect, but what makes you unique?
Yeah, I think the connections part of it is the thing that makes me different, and not just like, oh, I have a vast network, because there are lots of people who have much larger networks than I do. But I think the thing that makes me different is I truly value relationships and what collaboration can look like when you value a relationship. So, whether that relationship is with a hiring committee and really kind of getting under the hood of what's important to them, and working with them to develop a great competency-based scorecard, to develop a great process, and really listening to their needs, while also being really clear um, about how to infuse objectivity and equity into their process, is something that I really value. And part of that is being not just someone who is doing the work, but kind of in collaboration in the work. And I take that
Mm,
approach with candidates. So candidates to me are just as important as the hiring manager and the search committee. My feeling is like, people are really putting a lot of effort into applying for jobs and going through a process. It's time, it's effort, and it's important to me to be really transparent in that communication, to serve as a partner for them all the way through. That's why, I try to get to know people as much as possible during a process. I will provide lots of feedback along the way, not just like when somebody is no longer being invited to the next stage in a process, but even as they're preparing for whatever stage they're in. I want people to reach out to me. I want to be open to them. I want to be able to provide lots of feedback and really help candidates see me as a partner along the way. Um,
mm,
and the other thing is, like, the only way that I can do that is that, um, when not directly working with clients, not directly working with candidates, on the back end, my systems and processes are really important to me. Being really, efficient with my time, making sure that I am, using the systems that we have in place in order to kind of be efficient, so that the majority of my time is spent working and building those relationships, is something that I think makes me a great partner, for the entire ecosystem of a search.
mm. Yeah, your ability to partner and make them feel like you're on the team, it clearly sounds like the thing, and your style allows you to be able to be a great partner for your clients, which is why they keep coming back to you.
Yeah, I think that's something I've seen. I've really had this. opportunity now to work with clients a couple of times over. And so, not only are the folks that I'm working with, or even the candidates that I'm working with, not only are they people that I am, that I get to know in a professional setting, but also get to kind of know them as people, and that is something that I find is really energizing in the work that I do.
Mm, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Mayor, I am excited to have this conversation with you because I think that so much of what you bring and what I see you bring to the team, to your clients, is this there's also a level of authenticity. And it really shows, I think, also because you understand the work. And you're not just trying to match people, but you're really trying to come from a place of like empathy and compassion. And you have the expertise to help them because you know what it's like. And so I think any company that's with you has the ability to really be special to have you as a partner.
Yeah, I have to say, making the leap from working at mastery schools for 20 years and being able to see the impact of my work every single day, it was scary for me to take this leap into something really different.
Mm.
And I knew that the thing that was important to me is that the work that I did, that I that taking the leap meant that I would only be happy if the work that I was doing was still mission driven. And now I'm affecting missions of organizations all across the country. And that's why I always say, like, this is kind of continuing that trajectory from tree to forest. It was 14,000 students, and now it's communities all across the country. And that's the thing that's been really important to me in this work.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Mara. How do people find you if they need to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on the Agility website or through my email address at mcooper@agilitysearch.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Mara. So great to chat with you and learn more about you.
Thanks, Amir. It was great to talk to you as well.